so on and so forth here. So, let's see what we got here. Try this lead-in music. All right.
Yeah, it does look like a pretty wide open year.
Yeah.
It's pretty hard to. I don't think there's any dominant team.
Yeah, no, I get that. That's as much of a reason to pick the Patriots as any, I suppose. Yeah.
Yeah.
Vito Stellino of VitoStellino.com, legendary football writer. We've talked about him. Votes on the Hall of Fame. Has covered everybody. The Steel Curtain, the Colts when they were leaving Baltimore, the Hogs, the Jaguars when they made the AFC title game in their second year. And geez, if Mark Brunell doesn't throw that interception in the end zone, who knows? Maybe they go to the Super Bowl instead of the New England Patriots and such. I mean, he was there when the Titans defeated the Jaguars, handed them their only 3 losses for the Titans to go to the Super Bowl. And, he really does keep track of the league. You can follow him on Twitter, where, he'll let you know also about his opinion on the White House, absolutely, but also about football and the pass interference rule that is coming about. Very controversial. It's reviewable now, pass interference. And in the preseason, you mentioned the Washington-Cincinnati game, a routine play coming into a controversial play. Could you see this rule staying for the entire year? Could you see this rule actually being rescinded before the end of the season?
They rarely do that, so I think they'll wait till the off season. And one of the problems is not only a bad rule, but now you got this Al Riveron guy making the decisions. And the idea is the problem is that New Orleans Rams play was so unbelievable because how often does the defender just totally interfere with a guy deliberately, and the officials miss it? I mean, it just doesn't happen. So they passed a new rule for an incident that will really happen, and then they're going to start reviewing only ticky-tacky, pass interferences. You can argue, well, did he do it? Did he not? It's not a clear call. Like, hey, was he in bounds? He jumped on the sides, that type of thing. And then Riveron, again, it's supposed to be obvious evidence, and he changes calls when the evidence isn't obvious, and then he creates a whole new controversy. So I just think it's going to be a disaster. And, even the coaches who push for will recognize, God, we made a mistake,
Of course, I always say, look, I think you give the criticism there to Sean Payton for not running the ball with Kamara the first down. Instead, Breeze throws the incomplete pass. You tick off the time. There's probably not going to be enough time for the Rams to come back, but they basically gave the Rams the minute they needed to come back. And my goodness, you had the defense right there still. You had the first possession in overtime. Come on. Block a 50-odd yard field goal for that matter. It's not as if the Saints, even after a bad call, didn't have a chance to win. I just don't I think it's very poor sportsmanship. I think if you want to go there, I have poor form to whine about the official's call prevented you from winning. That's my take on that. And I did think the Saints still had ample opportunities to win even after they was robbed. Let's just call it that way, in my opinion. You also have written about, and this has been a sideline, will Andrew Luck be able to play for the Colts this year, at least to start the season? And, people are picking the Colts to do big things if Luck can play. And if he can't, I don't know, does Frank Reich try to become the first player coach since Fritz Pollard or whoever and guide the Colts or something? Obviously, I'm being facetious, but tell us a little about Luck. What is the latest that you have heard, Vito Stellino, about his status for the Indianapolis Colts?
Well, we don't know because they've
Boy, you mentioned the Ursays not being truthful. Let's put it that way. Boy, there's a surprise, huh? Because I know you covered Robert Ursay back in Baltimore, and although you weren't at the famous drunken off the plane press conference, you told me you were covering the Super Bowl at the time and all that. I mean, Bob Ursay was asking, "Where's Vito Stellino?" and all that, if not necessarily by name. But I just get. I do want to ask you. I mean, are the Ursays, in your opinion, as bad as advertised? I mean, I really, I hear, oh, the NFL didn't want this person to come in the league, and I say, what moral clause can you use when you have the Ursays in the league and all this? What's your opinion on them?
Well, Bob Ursay definitely was. I mean, the guy had a serious drinking problem and had no idea how to run a team. So he was. His son he's kind of, for a while there, he let Paulie just run it, and things are going well. And then suddenly he decided to, well, we're going to blow that up. And the guy that he had replaced him did not do well. Now, the current guy seems to be, doing a pretty good job. But Jimmy's just kind of erratic, and he's part of the whole nepotism thing. I mean, he was just born into, being an owner, and without any particular qualifications. He's never really run anything,
Yeah, and I mean, he's had substance abuse problems of his own and all this.
Yeah, he likes to buy collectible things, I think the manuscript of On the Road or something, But yeah, when they had Peyton and Jimmy stayed out of the way, they did well. But you just never know whenever he's going to pop up and say something, crazy like, So.
Yeah, I will just. At least he didn't listen to Hunter S. Thompson on what quarterback he should draft, though. At least did that. So, talking to Vito Stellino, VitoStellino.com. Read his columns right there. Like I said, legendary football writer, votes on the Hall of Fame. Tremendous source of history. If you want to talk historical NFL, but also, as you can hear, very good grasp on the contemporary. So I want to ask you, the AFC South, you're still involved with the Jaguars. I know that I'm higher on Leonard Fournette than you are. They got a new quarterback in to replace Blake Bortles and Nick Foles and all this. Plus, let's face it, I mean, Deshaun Watson, the Texans, there's some questions over, Jadeveon Clowney certainly, but, they're going to be a factor. Basically, it's a wide open division. And the Titans, although they've had a lot of players on the physically unable to perform list, at least they did get Ryan Suckup off the other day. What now? Trying to handicap the AFC South might be like playing pin the tail on a donkey. But what do you see right there out of the AFC South this year?
Well, I think it's really wide open. The Texans, seem to be the favorite. I mean, they've got J.J. Watt and they got Deshaun Watson, which is a great receiver. Those are offensive lines, but the tackle is a big question mark. And to me, the coach is a big question mark. I'm not a big Bill O'Brien fan.
All right.
So, but on the other hand, we just talked about the Colts. They have their problems. Mariota, we don't know. Is he going to merge? I mean, now they're talking about Tannehill is pushing him. Is he going to be the quarterback they thought he was? Jacksonville has been a Super Bowl winning quarterback who showed he can do it. But he has to have the right team around him. He's not a guy that carries the team, but he be beating out McCann and right guard, even though they gave McCann a new contract. So, they need a solid line because, to protect Foles and to open some holes for Fournette. Because Fournette's not a guy with a wiggle leg. He's a straight ahead downhill runner, but he needs some holes. So I think you can kind of flip a coin in that division. But the Jaguars, we'll know a lot about them in the first 12 days. Sunday, Thursday against the Chiefs. Texans at home against the Titans on Thursday night. So the Chiefs are the best teams in the division or the conference at two division games in the first 3 games. So how their record is after 3 games, we'll know a lot about where they are. But I just think it's really a wide open race. And before Luck got hurt, people were saying, hey, maybe the Colts are going to emerge.
Yeah.
But without Luck, what they do last year, 4-12,
Yeah.
or 2 years ago. So I think it's really hard to predict, But that makes it kind of interesting. But I don't think the Super Bowl winner is going to come out of the division. That's for sure.
Okay, we'll go there and all this. You mentioned, hey, let's stick with chalk. Patriots, AFC. Who would you like in the NFC right now? You mentioned the Saints are a bad call. Are they hungry? Or, I don't know. Mitch Trubisky with the Bears? I thought they were about a year away. What are your thoughts here in the NFC?
If Winston stays healthy, I got to go with them. I think they're...
Okay, the Eagles? All right.
Yeah, the Eagles. I got to go with them.
So
I'm not sold on Trubisky. I just... I don't know if he's the answer. The Saints have lost 2 terrible playoff games 2 years in a row, so, Breeze is a year older, I don't know about them. So, I think the Eagles are the safe pick, assuming that Wednesday's healthy. They're really hurting without, if he gets hurt, because they don't have Foles. And now they've gone out and get Josh McCown. To me, they were the team should have gone out and got Kaepernick. He could have been their Nick Foles,
Interesting.
But,
I'm not as big on Kaepernick as you are, as we talked about, but no, interesting. Yeah.
He took a team to a Super Bowl, so and his last year he had 16 touchdown passes and 4 picks. So I'm not saying he's a great player, but he's certainly good enough to be in the league. And he's better than Josh McCown, who in 8 of his seasons started 3 or less games.
Mm-hmm.
He's the definition of a journeyman quarterback.
Who's going to be the whipping boy? Miami?
Well, in the offseason, everybody was saying that they're tanking the season deliberately. So I don't know. He talked about starting Fitzpatrick. I think that makes no sense.
Yeah.
You got to start Rosen and find out is he your future, and then if he's not, and you have a bad year, then you draft another one. We know what Fitzpatrick is. He's a journeyman. He'll win some games, but
put him on your number 2. Yeah, that sort of thing on a contending team could be where. But yeah, obviously he didn't last long with the Buccaneers last year. I got 10 seconds left. He's Vito Stellino, VitoStellino.com. Okay, Patriots, Eagles, or SG1 Sports had Patriots, Panthers.